All right, 6.2, complete the process. Here's the equation of a circle. X squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 20y plus 105 is equal to 0. Elena wants to find the center and radius of the circle. Here's what she's done so far. So here's the original, step 1, step 2, step 3, and now they want to ask us what's happening in each step. So number 1, what did Elena do in her first step? So what changed from here to here? Well, the first thing I see is that x squared and y squared are right next to each other, and they're not anymore. It looks like they've paired off x squared and negative 6x, and then they've also paired off y squared and negative 20y. So I will say that, in my opinion, what's happened here, actually, there's 3 things that have happened. This 105 also came over to the right side of the equal sign. So there's actually quite a few things going on here. So I'm going to label this 1, 2, and 3, because those are 3 different things. So the first thing she did is group terms with x together. Second thing, group terms with y together. Then third step, she brought the constant term to other side of equal sign. All right, we also could say we isolated the constant term by bringing it over. All right, so that's step 1, 2, and 3. I want to say one thing I really do like that Elena did here. You've got negative 20, negative 20y. I'm sorry, negative 20y, negative 20y. Positive y squared, positive y squared. Negative 6x, negative 6x. X squared and x squared. These terms all stayed on the left side, so none of their signs should change. It only is when you bring something to the other side of the equation that the sign changes. So positive 105 turned to negative 105 because it switched sides. That's very good attention to detail. Number 2, why did Elena add 9 and 100 to the left side of the equation in step 2? So she's talking about the 9 and the 100. Well, if you look at this, we start off with a binomial, and right here as well, we start off with a binomial missing that last c term. Here, we're also only having 2 terms, and now we've got 3. So what she did to the left side of the equation for both of these trinomials, both of these, let me make that a little clearer that they're 2 different ones. She did what is known as completing the square. So I'm going to write for 1 and 2. And I'm just going to combine these because they're pretty much the same thing. She wanted to complete the square. Also known as forming perfect trinomials. And that's the exact thing you did in the do now, where you found the c term, right? That was, if I divide 10 by 2, I get 5. 5 squared is 25. Divide negative 16 by 2, you get negative 8. Negative 8 squared is 64. We're doing that same thing here. Negative 6 divided by 2, right? That's the first thing we do. That equals negative 3. Negative 3 squared is equal to 9. That's how we got that 9. Here, negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 squared is equal to 100. That's where that 100 is coming from. All right, why'd she add it to the right side of her equation? Why did these also get added? And that's because she's balancing her equation. In math, one of the cardinal rules of equations of the equal sign is that whatever you do to one side must be done to the other. She added 9, added 100, must also do the same on the right side. What should Elena do next? Well, first let's look at what is being done here. And so what's happened to this whole side here is we just simplified. What should she do next? Well, what is Elena trying to do? She wants to find the center and radius of the circle. So if I was Elena, I would want to convert this into the correct form. So in order to have something in the correct form to be a circle and I graph it, it's got to have two perfect square binomials. We remember our equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared, where h and k are the x and y coordinates of the center, respectively. And x and y can be any point on the circumference. So basically, right, -3 was that number we found when we divide -6 by 2. -3 squared is 9. That's our magic number. So I'm going to write this trinomial here as x minus 3 squared. For y, for our y trinomial, that number was -10. So I'm going to do y minus -10 squared equals r squared. And you can choose to keep the -10 like this or not. I will say it is far more normal to write it this way, where negative and negative become positive. So yeah, I would recommend simplifying it like that. But I'm just showing you where that positive 10 is coming from. That's always the tricky one. Right. So now she needs to find the center and the radius of the circle. I've got it in the proper form. Oh, I made a mistake, right? That r, what should that r be? Well, if I've got 4 right here, right, what squared equals 4? Well, 2 times 2 equals 4. So I'm going to put that 2 right there. You have to almost think that if this is just a regular number without an exponent, you have to take its radical. And you're always going to have a positive number because a radius can't be a negative length. Even though you can have negative coordinates, the radius itself is a length of a circle and cannot be negative. Okay. We also got 5 and 6. What are the center and radius? Okay, well, I'm going to answer that on this page because I have my equation here. My center, remember it's always the opposite of what it looks like. This says -3, but if my equation is x minus h, that means it's just 3. Y plus 10, but really it's a -10. And then my radius is 2. All right, draw a graph of the circle. All right, sure. All right, quickly, I'm going to make a graph. Let's see, what are the dimensions here? Center 3, -10, radius 2. Okay, so since it's so far down on the y-axis here, I'm not going to draw the whole 4 planes. I know it's going to be in quadrants 4, and yeah, it'll actually just be in quadrant 4. Because if the radius is 2, and the x-coordinate for the center is 2, right? 2, -10, let's see. 2, 1, 2, 3, oh, sorry. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, oh, I'm sorry. That's 2 mistakes in there. Center is 3, -10. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is my center. 3, -10. All right, now my radius is 2 units. So I'm going to take my compass, center it right on that point. Then I'm going to set my pencil to 2 units away. Right, and as you can see, no matter how far or what angle I extend this at, It stays within the fourth quadrant. It's very faint. There's my circle right there. Radius of 2. Everywhere is 2 units away from that center. So that would be the graph of that circle. All right, and that's all for 6.2.